Hello, my name's William Fellows and I'm the founder and a research director for Cloud Native at 451 Research, which is a division of S&P Global Market Intelligence. Joining me today is Deutsche Telekom's Michal, who leads the Devops team that builds Deutsche Telekom's Cloud Native 5G Enhanced Packet Core Network. Thanks for joining us, Michal.
It's great to be here. Hello.
So today we're talking about the role of GitOps in Deutsche Telekom's successful 5G core rollout. And of course, GitOps is a popular way to do Kubernetes cluster management and application delivery using GitOps as a single source of truth. So Michal, let's dig into it right here then. So why are telcos embracing GitOps for their cloud native operations? What are the real benefits?
I think that the main reason is that because modern network functions are becoming very much software defined, so it's obvious that you should then apply the rule of engagement like for regular software. And secondly is that this software is being very much decomposed using a lot of open source components. So with this, actually internal complexity of the software is really increasing. So you need to have and you need to apply the measures to automate the process in order to keep the quality. So that's the most important factors.
You mentioned open source. So what other key technologies must be present in order to be able to deploy a successful cloud native pipeline using GitOps? What other kinds of tooling are you using there?
First of all, you need to have a tool which will automatically reconcile what is sitting inside of Git as a single source of truth towards your application. And that's a critical requirement. So this is this concept of desired state of the network. If you have tools which are supporting you with this, then you can automatically reconcile whatever you have in Git as a single source of truth. Secondly, and that's also very important, you need to have a set of a framework which will support the application with the additional functions like logging, specifically distributed logging, networking. Here I'm mentioning the entire set of different CNIs. Also things like service mesh. So it's entire open source based components landscape which needs to sit together with the core application in order to bring the end-to-end working solution.
Kubernetes is a cloud methodology and really GitOps is more of a mindset. But I'm interested in how these come together. Is there a top-down DevOps mandate or a center of excellence there at Deutsche Telekom, which has sort of enforced the change management that's required to make this happen? Or is it more of a bottoms-up approach?
I think there is no mandate. It's rather opportunity-driven development. Actually, 5G, for example, is one of the first applications which really relies on things like Kubernetes, REST interfaces like SBI, which are HTTP REST interfaces. And with this, actually, you have a perfect opportunity to try out a different production model. And this different production model means you can start to work a little bit like hyperscalers, using also the framework like Kubernetes, and the methodology relying on GitOps. So I think that's the answer for the question. So I would assume it's opportunity-based, and it's also bottom-up, like, you know, you're skilling engineers, which then can bring the new way of working with this environment.
So there's obviously a lot of moving parts and a lot of complexity and a lot of new things for development and engineering teams to get to grips with. I wonder, to what extent then do you use third parties and partners to assist you or even to upskill your teams? Are there, particular tools and approaches which have worked for you, Michal?
So absolutely, we are leveraging the landscape of partners. Specifically, I can mention the Flux as an application, and here the partner is WeWorks. It was super important in the context of our exercise to learn and to develop the way of bringing GitOps framework, because it's not just that you are putting the configuration part in Git and you are doing a reconciliation. Actually, it's about the entire design, like how to separate lab from production, how to structure your configuration into Git that you could have and maintain the flexibility of changes, and finally how you will manage the quality in terms of frequent changes, so how you are controlling all this process. And of course, in order to make it, you need to have reliable partners which will help you to implement such a huge transformation.
Is there a way that Deutsche Telekom measures the success of these deployments? In other words, is there a way to understand sort of directly the benefit which GitOps is bringing? Is it all about the faster time to value and faster software releases? Are there other softer benefits perhaps that GitOps brings, in terms of the wider organization or other things?
One flavor of this is frequency of deployments, so ability, for example, to destroy the cluster and recreate it with just like minutes, or redeploy the application whenever you have issues or you want to test something. So that's one flavor. But there is also a second flavor related with the entire ecosystem. So how much you can extend the functionality, bringing additional partners and gluing them together in the same ecosystem. So I think that this second flavor is also super important.
And I know our listeners and viewers will be interested, Michal, because of the work that you've done there and the sort of experience that you've gained. Are there things that you would either have done differently or not done at all, or things that you think the industry needs to address in order to help organizations with their cloud native and GitOps deployments?
I would definitely mention 12 factors as a concept here. And I believe that specifically for telco, this is really a challenging part. And for sure, for the industry, it will take some time to fully converge. And I think that in order to fully start with a cloud-native way of thinking, you need to fulfill those 12 factors requirements. So it's like how you are separating code from the configuration, how you are doing a configuration which is using environmental variables, those kind of things. And I think in order to have a clean start, you should definitely start considering and examining like how much application is really supporting these 12 factors. That's one story. And the second story, if not, which is probably the case, what steps you need to do in order to really make it, right? Because once a certain requirement of those 12 factors are not fulfilled, then you need to have a certain workarounds, which of course produce additional effort and cost. But of course the holy grail is that application will fulfill the 12 factors, and then you are really able to get the full benefits of the cloud-native ecosystem.
Those are great points. And I think we could carry on talking about this all day, but I think we've got to stop now. So, Michal, thanks very much indeed for joining us today.
It was really a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
Great. And for all of you listeners and watchers out there, for more information and research about GitOps, please visit 451research.com. Thank you.